365 Sports.
Welcome back to another episode of 365 Sports Mizzou, presented by Rogue Media. My name is Davis Wilson, and we're back for another episode of this show. Yesterday's episode cut off pretty abruptly because my computer totally gave up on me. I was going to talk about baseball and softball. I didn't because the recording just ended very abruptly. So I will cover that a little bit at the end. Again, there's not a ton to talk about with baseball and softball, but we will talk about the seasons thus far. Our main focus, though, remains on Mizzou basketball, Mizzou men's basketball, as they are fighting for a chance to play in the NCAA tournament. As it stands right now, they are right on the bubble. And this last stretch of games is going to be such an important these last 4 games are going to be just huge. Every single one of them means a ton for this Missouri team. Tonight, they've got a big one. Maybe the biggest one left on their schedule. Just it's arguable. It's at home. They host the Tennessee Volunteers. The second to last home game of the season. The last one comes on March the 7th against Arkansas. This is a big one. Tennessee is really good. They're ranked 22nd in the country. This will be Missouri's third straight ranked opponent they've played. They beat Vanderbilt, number 19. They lost to number 20 Arkansas. Now they play number 22 Tennessee tonight in Columbia at 8 o'clock on SEC Network. Missouri is a 3.5-point underdog in this game. Tennessee's coming in as one of the hottest teams in the conference. They've won 4 straight games. They've won 8 of their last 9, dating back to January 24th. So they have not been losing much. Their only loss came at Kentucky, 74-71. In that 9-game stretch, they beat Alabama on the road. They beat Georgia on the road. They beat Vanderbilt on the road. They beat Auburn at home. So they've been playing really good basketball. That's my point, I suppose. This is going to be a really tough game for Missouri. Tennessee plays really good defense. They score at about the same rate as Missouri does. They both average right around 80 points per game. But this Tennessee team does a couple things really well. They rebound the ball really well, far better than Missouri does. I mean, just based on numbers, they're like top 10 in the country in rebounds per game. And they play really good defense. They allow 69 points per game. Missouri allows 75 points per game. So it's kind of clear the advantages that Tennessee has. Just the numbers. The numbers are their advantage. They have not in their last 4 wins. They're on a 4-game win streak. They have not allowed an opponent to score more than 66 points, which is just pretty impressive. That's a really impressive stretch. A lot of these SEC opponents are good offensively, and Tennessee does a great job of shutting them down. Against Alabama, at Alabama, when they beat Alabama on the road, they allowed 73 points. Against Vanderbilt, they allowed 65 points. Like, this is a serious defense. They played Kansas non-conference. Their non-conference schedule is really impressive. They beat Houston. They allowed 76 points to Houston. They lost to Kansas. They lost to Syracuse, but only allowed 62 points. They lost to Illinois, allowed 75 points. So even in their losses, this team is really playing good defense and making it very difficult on teams to score. And on the flip side of that, they've got a couple of players who are really good, and they're going to score the ball. They've got an NBA-level talent in Nate Ament, who's going to be a lottery pick this season. He's had an incredible freshman. He's a true freshman. Sorry, my dog's back there making some noise. Hey, don't do that. She's biting my bed. Don't do that. You're going to make a hole in it. All right, Nate Ament is averaging 18 points a game, a true freshman. He's shooting, 42, just about 42% from the field, about 32.5% from 3. So not an excellent 3-point shooter, but for a freshman, I mean, this guy's been super, super productive. He is 6'10". He's a 6'10" guard who can score in a lot of ways from Virginia. Like I said, he's a freshman. In the win against Vanderbilt last game, he had 13 points. Against Oklahoma, he had 29. Against LSU, he had 22. Against Mississippi State, he had 16. Against Kentucky, he had 29. Against Ole Miss, he had 28. Like, this guy just scores a ton. Like I said, very versatile too. He scores in a lot of different ways. He takes about 4 threes a game, makes about 1.5 of them. Gets to the free throw line a lot. Good rebounder. Like, this is probably going to be a top 6 pick in the draft, I think. So again, Missouri running into a team that just has NBA talent on it. I talked about this yesterday against Arkansas. Missouri just had less talent, and sometimes there's not a lot you can do about that. Also, Tennessee has another really, really good scorer, a senior named Jacoby Gillespie from Tennessee. He's a Tennessee native. Played his first 2 seasons at Belmont, and then he transferred to Maryland. Had a good season at Maryland, transferred to Tennessee. This season, amazing. He's leading the team in scoring with 18.1 points, so just edging out Nate Ament for team leader in points per game. His game log has been excellent as well. Just a consistent, like, 16 to 22 point guy. He had 17 against Vanderbilt, 16 against Oklahoma, 12 against LSU, 18 against Mississippi State, 15 against Kentucky, 20 against Ole Miss. His season high was 34 points against Texas, where he shot 12 of 18 from the field. Was 5 of 8 from 3. Like, this is a guy who can shoot the 3 a little bit better. He also shoots right around 41% from the field, but he shoots the 3 ball. He's shooting about 35%, which is actually down a little bit from his best season at Belmont and his best season at Maryland, but he's taking far more 3s per game, so his volume's gone up quite a bit. This is what's really interesting about this Kentucky team is the scoring isn't super spread out. They have these 2 guys who average about 18 a game apiece, and no one else averages in the double digits. The next guy they have is J.P. Estrella, a sophomore from looks like Maine. He averages 9.7 points per game. He's a good rebounder. He's 6'11", 240 pounds. He's a big dude. But outside of Jacoby Gillespie and Nate Ament, they really don't have a ton of scoring. They have a couple guys who can shoot the 3 ball really well. Felix Akpara, a senior, is averaging. His 3-point numbers are good, but he only takes 0.4 of them per game. So ignore what I just said about that. Bishop Boswell is a guy that seems to be shooting the ball pretty well. Let's see how many he takes per game before I tell you that. Yeah, he doesn't really take that many per game either. He takes 1.6 threes per game, but he's averaging 47% from 3. I guess all this is to say, like, these 2 guys, Nate Ament and Jacoby Gillespie, are how Tennessee scores. And if they're not scoring, the focus has to be on these guys. Nate Ament also leads the team in rebounding. Jalen Carey is second in rebounding. He's a big forward from Florida. There's a lot of different ways that Tennessee hurts you. It's not just scoring. Like I said, they play defense. They rebound really well. But scoring is pretty much reliant on Nate Ament and Felix and Jacoby Gillespie. So Missouri's focus has to be, how do you guard these guys? And that is not an easy task. Like I said, Jacoby Gillespie, a little guard who just is shifty, finds a spot, shoots the 3 pretty well. I like this because Missouri does have some guard play who can defend. T.O. Barrett and Anthony Robinson are both great defenders on ball. So they will be tasked with dealing with Jacoby Gillespie. Now, Nate Ament is going to be a tough cover. He's 6'10". I guess he's kind of like Trent Pierce in a way. He's built like Trent Pierce, but obviously a much more efficient scorer. I guess that'll be your matchup, Trent Pierce and Nate Ament. I don't know. But this is going to be a tough game. Tennessee's really, really a good basketball team. They beat Vanderbilt on their home court on Saturday. It's just it's going to be a tough matchup. And the one thing I'll say, though, Missouri has been kind of rising to the challenge. They've had a really tough schedule the last couple weeks, and it does feel like they've kind of stepped up and played to the level of their opponent. Like they after that Texas game, outside of that Texas game, they beat A&M on the road. They obviously got blown out by Texas. They beat Vanderbilt at home, and then they played pretty well against Arkansas on the road despite the loss. So Tennessee here is a team that's won a lot. They're a lock to make the tournament. Maybe you catch them sleeping one game. I don't know. They've like I said, they've won 8 of their last 9. I'd like to think they're due for a loss, but there's really no telling when you run up against a good team like this and a good coach like Rick Barnes. Keys to the game, I mean, you got to play defense. Like this Tennessee defense is good, and it's going to make life hard on you offensively. Missouri has a good offense, and they score a lot. So I do think the offense is important, but to keep up, you gotta really do your best to shut down Tennessee's two-headed scoring monster. That will be pretty imperative. I mean, you're going to have to get a good game from T.O. Barrett / Anthony Robinson. One of them's got to be great. Or combined, the two of them to combine it has to be a great effort, because you are, you're having to defend a guy like Gillespie, but they also need to score a little bit more. We saw against Arkansas, none of them really were able to score, despite Missouri's really efficient day from its offense. Those two guys didn't score a ton, so getting them involved offensively, having one of them have a good day would be great. Staying out of foul trouble is the biggest thing. Mark Mitchell, continue to be Mark Mitchell, be aggressive, draw fouls. I mean, get this team in foul trouble. That will be a big deal. And then Trent Pierce needs to stay hot. He's been such a good player for Missouri this season. I think he had 22 against Arkansas last game. If he can keep that up, that'll be really important. Missouri's big men, I think Trent Burns, we're probably going to see some minutes from him. We're going to see some, obviously, minutes from Sean Phillips. They got to rebound, because this Tennessee team is an excellent rebounding team. The whole team has to rebound, not just the big guys. Like, everybody has to rebound a lot. And if they do that, you never know. I'm interested to see. This would be just a massive win for Missouri. And if you could get this, it almost moves me. I mean, I'm not a bracket expert, but if you can get this win, it almost moves me, the way I see this team, into the tournament lock category. Obviously, it's never going to be a lock because you're on the bubble. But if you win this game, you have 3 games left. 2 of them are on the road against lesser opponents. You have at Mississippi State and at Oklahoma. And then you host Arkansas. So you have 3 games left. If you win this game, really all you have to do is win one of them, and I think you feel pretty good about being in. Stop that. Stop biting that. God. So all I have to say, this is a very important matchup for Missouri. Okay, let's take a quick break, and then I will come back and talk about other teams on the bubble, what Missouri fans should be rooting for tonight and beyond, and then we'll discuss the Diamond Sports a little bit at the end.
Super Bowl 60 deserves a sportsbook built for the moment. DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of Super Bowl 60, puts you right in the center of the biggest game of the year. And when anything can happen during the Super Bowl, DraftKings has your back with early exit. If a player goes down in the first half, you still get paid out in cash immediately once your bet settles. No bonus bets, no waiting. I personally can't wait to see the matchup of the new kid, Drake May, and Sam Darnold, the veteran, in it to prove himself. New to DraftKings? New customers can bet just $5 and get $300 in bonus bets if your bet wins. Agreed. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use code SHOWPICK. That's code SHOWPICK to turn $5 into $300 in bonus bets if your bet wins. In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY. Connecticut, call 888-878-9777-N or visit ccpg.org on behalf of Boot Hill Casino in Kansas. Wager tax pass-through may apply in Illinois. 21 plus in most states. Void in Ontario. Restrictions apply. Bet must win to receive bonus bets, which expire in 7 days. Minimum odds required. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/audio. Limited time offer.
All right, so in terms of where Missouri sits in the bracket right now, CBS Sports Bracketology has them as in the last 4 in grouping. So they would be an 11 seed playing in those first 4 games. That is where CBS Sports has them. ESPN, I think also right there. I think ESPN is also in the last 4 in grouping, I think. So this is a big one. Obviously, it's important for Missouri to win, but it also will help if other teams on the bubble lose or whatever. And there are a couple big games tonight that I'm going to mention. Your rooting guide for Missouri fans. You have Arizona State versus TCU. TCU is also in that kind of last 4 in grouping. So I hate to root against TCU because I kind of grew up rooting for them, but you kind of got to root for Arizona State tonight in that game. Virginia plays North Carolina State. North Carolina State also right there, kind of on the bubble. I mean, I think they were listed as an 8 seed in the CBS Sports bracket, so and a little better of a spot than Missouri, but a loss here to UVA. And Virginia's a good team, so it wouldn't hurt them a ton, but that's something to watch. You have West Virginia versus Oklahoma State, kind of two teams that are right there hovering around the bubble. They're kind of behind Missouri, I think, by most valuations. So I don't know who you should be rooting for there, but it is two bubble teams if you want to watch it. Oklahoma versus Auburn. Auburn, I think Missouri really needs Auburn to start losing. And Auburn has a terrible record. Missouri has the head-to-head against Auburn. It would be really frustrating to me if Auburn got in over Missouri. You got to root for Oklahoma here to beat Auburn, I think. So there you go. BYU versus UCF. BYU is already going to make the tournament. UCF is a bubble team. You got to root for BYU in this one. Nevada versus New Mexico. Nevada was a bubble team. They had a really bad loss last week. So I think you have to root for them over New Mexico because New Mexico is in that same last 4 in grouping as Missouri is. And then you have UCLA versus USC late tonight. Two bubble teams. I mean, I don't know who you should root for, but it is two bubble teams. There's more games tomorrow that we can root for. I will talk about those tomorrow, though, as I will be recapping whatever happens tonight in this Missouri game. But that is kind of your rooting guide interests, who you should be rooting for if you're a Missouri fan. All right, before we get out of here, let's talk softball and baseball. Softball is off to a rough start. They're 5-11. Still haven't played at home yet, though, but they are 5-11. They have losses to number 5 Oregon, number 21 Liberty, Penn State. They have not looked great. What was once a proud kind of softball school, I think, kind of struggling a little bit. It's kind of disappointing. I'm not really sure what to say. I haven't been watching the games or anything. But yeah, 5-11, not a great start. Baseball, on the other hand, is 5-2. Also haven't played at home yet. They're 5-1 on neutral site, 0-1 on the road. They started the season 2-1 in the opening series against Mount St. Mary's. Then they lost the midweek game to Florida Atlantic, and then they swept New Haven, which I don't even know what New Haven is, but they swept New Haven, 12-2, 17-5, 16-2. I don't think that means anything because, again, I don't know who New Haven is, to be honest with you. But they're 5-2, decent start, I suppose. They have their home opener today at 3:00 at Taylor Stadium against Arkansas Pine Bluff. They play 2 games today and tomorrow in the afternoon against Pine Bluff. And then this weekend they host North Dakota State for a weekend series. So that is your update on the Diamond Sports. I haven't been watching them, so I can't really tell you if they look good or whatever. But on paper, disappointing start for softball. So start for baseball. All right, that's all I have for today. Come back tomorrow. We'll talk about this Missouri-Tennessee game. It's a big one, really important. If Missouri can pull one out, it'll go a long way in getting them in the tournament. So tonight, 8 o'clock on SEC Network. I'll be watching. You guys be sure to tune in to that, and then also to this show tomorrow, because I'll recap whatever happens and let you know what the result means for Missouri's tournament chances. Thanks for being here. Happy Tuesday. See you guys tomorrow.
365 Sports.